Aloha world, aloha ohana. Jonah Martin Lyon checking in here on International Day of Peace, September 21st. I'm checking in from Maui, Hawaii, as I landed back home yesterday about 24 hours ago. And super grateful to be home, to be here, to be reconnected, realigned with family and friends. Get my daughter Zola, 7 years old, will be seven on Christmas. A big hug. Um, yeah, and just hugs around, humans unifying for global solutions as an acronym for hugs in an organization. I remember from many years of being on this movement as a leader of peace, love, unity, and sovereignty on this planet. And so grateful to be here with all of you on this day to be in prayer, to be in intention, action, activation, meditation, communion ceremony around peace on earth, uh, as it is heaven, as in heaven, yeah, as they say, as we say. Uh, since being home, it's been a lot of emotions moving through and really feeling the current state of um, being on Maui. Now that I'm here, physically being on Maui, uh, literally housing. I'm on the porch of a good brother, Jedi brother of mine, Nico, who's gave me a place to land and a place to stay. And you know, I'm one of the many thousands of people, of residents here on Maui, locals that are in this current situation of hope for housing our people everywhere, and all again the dimensions when we look at hope. It's been such a healing experience for me too around this word hope, because it's one that one can look at as being passive or hoping that there's a savior, hoping that somebody somewhere, something's going to happen without being proactively in meeting Jah, meeting God, meeting that hope, meeting that faith, um, in the in between, meeting them in that place of peace, in that place of love, in that place of unity. And that's a sovereign directive. It is one of free will, and we all have that, a divine inheritance, the human abundance, and how we co-create action, through our decision making. I have a good brother, Kevin Walton, has branded, if we will, I decide, and you know, it's a beautiful place to be. That free will, I decide, free will. So start of, I think, the haiku to co-create with you today. You know, I decide free will. Um, so what that kind of moves us into right now is this space of like really working on coming from a joyful, blissful state of being that love, of being that peace within ourselves, so that we can regenerate, thrive, so that we can be in more of a thriving frequency than the survival frequency. It's just a lower vibrational field. It's harder to co-create and to be met and to be seen in that, because it's literally the root chakra, right? So you can imagine a tree, the roots are underneath the ground, and they're like, so the most important, if you will, all of it's important to the tree, but it's very important part of the tree, right, is the roots. So working in to come up from the root into our sacral chakra and be in that space of co-creation, these are what we can call, the 12 steps of peace. Uh, radical inclusion, like thinking about how we radically include all of everything. This is a place of unity consciousness, one of like consciousness is that we all are, everything is already connected and it always is, whether we believe, perceive, and walk in this state of knowledge or wisdom, awareness, consciousness, right? Level of consciousness is another question. And that's a constant practice of self mastery, mindful mastery of sovereignty and free will. Is really that place of, uh, knowing I'm part of something bigger that I can't even explain. And it's a mystery, a great mystery. And ultimately, universally, metaversally, in us is to come into like what what would it look like if we all did what we love. Um, that's that divine inheritance, that free will, yeah, the uh, sovereignty. So that radical inclusion, inclusivity is the one of including the self. Um, this is where it's a co-creation once again, as we include ourselves in with consent, with agreement, with establishing connection. Right? How are we connecting with one another? Uh, one of the ways I like to connect with people as I wear this shirt, this Aloha blue one today, this blue one is representing the water. I wore this intentionally because the water team, Ola Ikavai, the water protectors, focus is not only on this main focus area, primary directive of our water as our element and ancestor, which is really the majority of existence upon this life, on this planet, on this blue planet, that we're all connected by water, and water is life. Meaning Wachoni Olikavai, how many times, how many cultures have this saying, to speak about water. And so in that directive of water, uh, I want to stay focused in on bring in this time of peace right now and our relations to our environment and our relations with nature. As nature, we need to look at these elements and be like, am I at peace right now with the oceans, with the streams, with the rivers? Are we at peace right now with our water element? I would say that currently we are not. And direction and reflection, being a direct reflection, as I am a reflector in human design, direct reflect what is, because no, we are not in right relations with the oceans yet. Cleaning the oceans need to be probably at our highest directive right now as we are moving in this co-creation of peace on earth. Relations and peace building our relations with these elements, starting first here with our oceans. To bring it into Maui's standpoint, I was sitting with one of my Jedi counselors of education and learning, Judy Levy. She was sharing with me that the current directive initiative around what they're planning to do in Lahaina, and may or may not be currently actually doing this. Uh, Again, transparency, currency, level of awareness or consciousness, but in that area, utilizing this like foam substance that will eat away or start to dissolve the remains of the impact of the fire zone. Now, here's where that gets really tricky. One, this is a new technology, a new experimentation that is possibly being rolled out. And on that, uh, what are our considerations coming back to the ocean? What does this material look like? Because Lahaina, obviously, everyone knows this is a beach town. Yeah, right on the water with the stream running straight through it, or at least used to. Now it's a little more diverted. Uh, the this water and this material, how do they synthesize? How do they connect? Do they connect, or is it more like oil and water or toxicity and that can possibly happen at a time that is not only crucial for our local residents and those completely affected, and all of our brothers and sisters in Ohana there and on the west side, on the entire west side of Maui. But then we also need to consider everything that's in the ocean. Are we considering the fact that it's September 21st right now, and the humpback whales are on their way? Their migratory pattern to be most of them here on Maui and literally right off the coastline of Lahaina, giving birth or training or teaching and rearing and bringing up their next generations. You know, when I think about this right now, and I think about being a father and bringing children up in these generations, you know, what really comes up for me right now is like what they're coming into. And I have a responsibility to that, and every single one of us do have a responsibility to what our children are inheriting because, you know, we're not inheriting this earth from our ancestors. We're borrowing it from our children. Uh, I believe we're both are happening. Yeah, it's as much as an inheritance, and I give thanks for my ancestors and all the ancestors. Yeah, because they're not mine; they're all of ours. Our ancestors. Thank you for bringing us to this point. I give thanks to, you know, thanks to all of those that have brought us to here as we stand on the shoulders of giants, which makes us uh, tall to be able to see, to be able to look at what has taken place, because it's all beautiful from a God's eyes perspective of the grander state, and there's some things, y'all, like, whew, you know, to think about what took place in Lahaina, for example, the darkness, the tragedy, the uh, death and desperation, and it's a war zone. And to think about like, you know, like I don't how many times, how many places, how many wars. Right? I open this up with the International Day of Peace. What higher directive do we have than that? And it looks like so many things, even though it's one word. It's right, peace. Like, I don't know, you create an acronym, right? Or let's make one together. You know, peace, the acronym that came through by after hearing a story from a brother that I was doing world peace meditations with, Ben Karen, an amazing artist, musician, leader, uh, um, curator of arts. And this brother, we're meditating right on a consistent basis with world leaders, world peoples all over on on World Peace Meditation Day, and he starts dreaming about it and recollecting it, you know, in his astral plane, uh, dreaming about peace, and every single time it would end up at the end, there would be some type of bomb that would drop, and that bomb that drops is the way it came up. And so it's like, how do we disassociate war from peace in our consciousness? Uh, can we detach? Yeah, can we oki that? Can we um, co-create a new paradigm or a new meaning, a new definition? Like I choose peace with my free will. So peace, a pluralistic ecosystem, activating conscious evolution. Peace is always here. We have the free will and sovereignty and mindful mastery to get there, to be at peace with in all of our relations. You know, so the oceans, our relations with these whales, the cetaceans, the porpoises, all the kind, all the fish, yeah, all relations with our oceans, with our water element, and everybody who has a relationship with the water element, which is pretty much all life, yeah, all sentient life. Can life exist without water? We out here exploring space, creating and co-creating and building space stations and spacecraft to get to different places and that we see from right here on this planet Earth. Let's figure this out first, folks. And getting out there gives us an idea of what this looks like, because from a galactic perspective, we are all one here. Yeah, it's one Earth. We're already unified by being here. That's unity consciousness. Do you exist? I exist, and I do not exist, and you do not exist. We're existing. Uh, So, International Day of Peace. I'm pulling right now, just so you know, from a book um, that, or my journal rather. I wanted to show this to all of you right now because it's a good practice for us to write, to create with our hands, um, to wordplay. Yeah. So, as an exemplar Earth, uh, music. This reminds me, I need to reach out to all my musician Ohana, all the family out there. Like, this is a time where we need music, y'all. These are hard times we're going through on Maui and beyond, right? Like, hope for Maui, but like, hope for planet Earth, uh, hope for humanity. That's the directive that we're going. We're starting here because it's present, it's current, it's what's happening now, it's a catalyst. And, you know, what better place to come together as peaceful warriors than the center of the planet in a beautiful environment where there's literally a temple of peace, several of them here, one that we've made and one with the one which the Aina told us. Yeah, um, and that's over on the west side, Honolulu Heiau, Heiau. Let me pronounce it right. It's to just be better with my languaging and learning a new language, learning a new culture. Um, this culture of aloha here on Maui is real, and so many of us connect and are fully, in many ways, connected here, whether we live here or not. I think that is one of the greatest catalysts and greatest gifts of what's happened here on Maui to the world is unity, is lokahi. Uh, but it also requires harmony, and this is something that I want to bring up too. In this, yeah, is like that harmony is like to harmonize, right? I'm thinking about Boys to Men right now, some of the Motown Philly's greatest harmonizers. You got like there's a level of communication happening um, through through communicating, through consistent communicating in song. So music, song, make music together, sing together, dance together, make art together, co-create, co-create mad things. Yeah, music, art, dance, co-create mad things in your life. You know, um, this is a time too of the liberation of plant medicine healing. Um, there's a lot more experiential wisdom that can combat the let's see, combat. Yeah, I like combat right there. Combat the uh, agendas of some of the organizations, companies around pharmaceuticals, since we're talking about medicine, but looking at the justice of liberating plant medicine. They're plants. Like, look where I'm at right now. You don't think I'm getting some healing here by sitting on this porch and breathing in, you know, taking a taking a moment, taking a breath. Yeah, to just like breathe this in, you know. This is the beauty of Maui. This is why people feel connected here because there's this beautiful um, uh, element, you know, all of the elements. Like I can see the ocean from here. Yeah. The sun right now is blocked by a little cloud cover, giving me a little bit of coolness on my skin because it was shining before, but like haleakala, yeah, the sun here, amazing, amazing the elements here. So we need to protect them. Uh, Speaking of protect, I feel like the justice and protection right now, the justice around what needs to take place uh, is so deep. It's like deep as the depths of these oceans that we're cleaning. So it's like we are cleaning ourselves. And that's how we relate to these oceans. Because as we clean ourselves, the oceans are clean. Yeah, we understand this humanity. As we clean ourselves and cleanse ourselves, the oceans will also be clean. Hmm. I want to talk a little bit about like order too. Like now, like let's look into the reforesting. Um, so coming back to like Lahaina, so take a look in a book, Reading Rainbow, of what Lahaina looked like prior to the fire to the fires. Like go back couple, yeah, 5 generations, maybe seven. Check it out then. Yeah, see the pictures. They're out there. Yeah, there's so much out there right now. So it's good to like study, research, look around. What was Lahaina then? And uh, the reforesting process. So this has a relationship with the water, which has a relationship with our mitigation process on this land right now to make sure that we keep the soil clean and we keep the water clean. If we can keep the water clean, we will keep the soil clean also. We need both of those, and they can work actually like um, almost like a right arm, yeah, or in a left leg, or a left arm and a right leg. In this case, it'd be a left arm and a right leg. Voltron. Uh, so the earth and the water, yeah, reforesting. What this will allow now is a purification process. Elementally, like this is how these elements work. Yeah, it's like they all work together, which we are learning how to do. It starts with like our own body. Uh, and this is why I like Voltron. Yeah, it's like that's my left hand right here is my earth hand. Yeah, it's my green hand. It's my so talk about the green thumb. It's on my left one. Yeah, this is my fire hand right here. Yeah, this is what I draw with. This is what I create with. This is the art, the culture. So it's my fire hand. Yeah, you know. So then I said earth and left and you know hand. Yeah, and the right leg. You know is opposite because they work like this. Yeah, boom. Yeah, contraindication. Uh, my right leg is water. It's my swing leg. You know, that's the swing leg right there. That's the big swing. That's the wave. That's the wave we're in right now. That's the Maui third wave that we need to bring attention to. There's so much brilliance here. I just must tell you. And I look forward to actually activating all of that now that I'm back here on Maui. Is like Hope for Maui. I was about to bring on some peoples, y'all. So we gonna cultivate this space we're going to curate and we're going to conduct this space uh, and really start to perpetuate this culture of aloha. Because this is where peace is. Yeah, this is that breath. If you're ever feeling a little out of whack and out of alignment, I invite you to take a breath. I got to remind myself of that. So, right leg, water. Left leg, air. Coming back to that ha, that aloha. Yeah, this breath, this also I would call it the stability leg. Yeah. So if I'm kicking with my right leg, this wave, this water, yeah, I gotta stabilize to be able to keep my balance. Yeah, with my left leg. So whatever leg you kick a soccer ball with, the opposite leg is essentially your stabilizing leg. What brings stability to your life? Prior to the fires, what brought stability to my life was ecocultural tourism. I built a company, branded a company on that initiative of recognizing tourism as our leading industry and almost our only industry here on Maui. And then to bring in the perpetuation of the culture. This is, I'm gonna just say it because I'm here. We're right now. What's happening is we really need to perpetuate the culture. We need to educate. We need to learn, listen, because that's what we're in. Yeah, and in this healing and as being this healing. So ecocultural tourism, and the right. So the cultural, and then the ecosystem. Can we care for this ecosystem when we come to Maui, since this is where this was birthed? But just in general, ecocultural tourism, yeah, because I'm a world traveler, I'm a galactic white wizard, and showing up in this way of being a asset and being a MVP, most valuable player in this game of life. It's like, okay, am I coming with that uh, relationship with my environment, this ecosystem? Like, is my relating or my way of conducting myself adding to or subtracting from or taking away from the natural uh, environment, right? The water, being super mindful, like World Peace Day, right? How is my relationship with the water that's coming out of my faucet or in the toilet or the shower? I just came off the playa. I think I got like maybe on the playa itself, like 3 showers in the 30 days I was in the desert, right? That's one of those Debrat so functified moments. But in the desert, we don't sweat as much, even though it's hot. It's super dry and dusty, especially the playa. So, like, it's easy to go multiple days without showers. I guess is what I'm saying. But what it does is it reminds me of how much I enjoy a shower and how grateful I am of having clean water that just comes magically out of the faucet, and I get to take a shower and bathe, like and be with water. Am I giving thanks to that water at that time? Like, thank you. Thanks to the plumbers too, right? Thanks to the people that came up with these systems to get water, to us on the press of a button. Um, so our relationship again, like uh, to look at our different innovations, um, what we come up through. Look at the digital innovations of this day. I mean, talk about it's really going to accelerate our ability to do this again. Yeah, because we did this a lot. What I mean is like we have so much material things on this planet because we've been creating with our hands, as a people, as humanity. So like, but like when I look around and I'm just like, we have so much stuff, right? We have so much material things like do we need to create any more material things, or do we need to regenerate and recreate the material things that we have so that we're practicing this natural cycle of it perpetuating and moving forward, right? Like that's why the elements are great teachers. It's like it's just, are we making things with that in mind, and if so, will we recycling? Because life is cyclical, um, secular, cyclical. That was a good one, right? Secular, circular, right? Life is a circle. So another good reason to take care of things because you may come back, and most likely you will. And the experience that we have at that time is for our highest evolution as a soul being. So recognizing that, and I'm grateful for Earth School. This is a time of really like stepping in, like let's co-create the greatest show on Earth right now. You know, looking at the tragedy right now when I observe it, being like the state of it, especially in regards to humanity, and especially in regards to our relations. We're like at war in so many of our relations. Our closest people were like our neighbors, right? It's like you look at the wars happening right now. It's literally like neighbors, you know. But from like the space view, right, from the galactic view, it's like, what? Why are y'all fighting down there? What is this about? What you fighting about? It's not enough down there, right? There's so much abundance for humans. We have so much abundance. We can let's stop fighting over it and share. Like sharing is caring, right? Peace on earth. What is our relations? Right? Like International Peace Day. This is some like easy, actionable things. Is why I like to play with it. Like as a leader of a massive movement in this way, and like really work on peace. Like I've worked so many different levels of mastery, from how to walk in that and how to like be that model. And it could be something is really simple, is volunteering your time to make some meals for people. Yeah. We were doing that prior to the fires, and so that gave us the gravity and the force to like amplify or scale that at a high level and respond and get hundreds and thousands of meals over, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner over to out to our community. You know, it's like, what does that look like on a daily basis? Yeah, and is it something that like people love to cook? Like when we do what we love to do, it's just it is perpetuating. It's self-perpetuating. You just do what we love to do. You ain't gotta pay me to do this. Right? I'm not getting paid to do this, to show up right now and do a Hope for Maui live stream. Right? Why am I here? International Day of Peace. Not a day, each day, right? So, like, looking at how many different projects can we volunteer for in our neighborhoods, our neighbors, not fighting, but serving. How can I serve you? I'm gonna share this one from my ex-partner who, like, her and I are fighting. Like, I'm trying to figure it out too, y'all. But serve, see, embrace, remind or reflect, remind, validate, value. Like, I see you, acknowledge, and empower. Yeah? Not enable, but empower. How may I serve you? How may I see, embrace? They're just talking about hugs, right? Like hug each other. It's your neighbors. We neighbors, yo. Like I want to know, I want to love you. I want you to love me. I want to be able to like share. I want our kids to play together, right? This is what peace is in all relations. Ahome takiyase. Volunteer projects. Come up with something. Feeding people, right? Massaging people. I got my My brother Nico right now is over here singing, serenading in the background at the same time. Like this brother was out there full force in all different aspects, but massage, is the area that made me think about this. How many just we can give people a massage, heal, right? Food, touch, yeah, hugs. Like, we stop touching each other. Think about what COVID did in regards to that. I just got done with a crazy travel around, right? International travel by going to Burning Man. Only people who were wearing masks at Burning Man was when the dust storms are happening. At least from my perspective, I'm not saying it wasn't happening. People are still wearing masks. Sovereignty and free will. And do your homework, research, study, stand up in our sovereignty right now. That requires wisdom, it requires knowledge, intelligence, which is why education is so important. When I'm like looking at these as someone who's been observing systems, I observe systems so that I can build systems, so I can regenerate or recreate systems, right? Co-create systems. Systems are like culture. Systems are constantly um, changing, you know, but they're based off of sound uh, science, metaphysics, hmm, right? They're founded on metaphysics, on sound science, deeply rooted in the heart. You know that we have more brain cells, or in terms of thinking, decision making, that happens here than up here. Facts. That's why we take a breath, because it's like how we move, what's processing up here to bring it to here. Now I decide. Huh. So I look at right now, I decide to step forth into a powerful, uh, playful, joyful, blissful, hard, graceful movement right now as we look at like we the systems, like we got all systems, yeah. So this movement must contain and must observe and must examine and must transform all of our systems into working, operating systems based on now, based on today. We have systems right now on Maui that worked great back in the day. They don't work anymore. Coming back to the water, our water systems on Maui do not work for Maui. So we need new water systems. So that's a hope for Maui. All y'all water protectors out there, we need new water systems, right? We got some really good ones on the way, and I'm grateful because people are pioneering and spearheading that and recognizing that. But it is not being spoken about loud enough or uh, or ranged enough yet as to being something to focus on in terms of these fires. The contamination of our water is huge, huge issue to mitigate right now. Okay, so legislation must change to liberate our water. We must stop the, or rather, yes, stop the redirection of the natural water flows. Right? In other words, let the water flow where the water goes. Yeah. And if we're going to move it and direct it, ask the water where you want to go. Right? and ask the people, where shall it flow? And when I'm saying the people, I'm saying the people who are directly impacted and associated with the relations of that particular stream of water. This is the type of legislation that we need to shift into. We passed this charter amendment. Where are we on that? I guarantee we're farther behind now in our progress on that because we've been dealing with this fire situation. But this fire situation is one where we need to redirect once again into the water and come back to that because that's the first thing that we need to take care of right now. So let's stand on this charter amendment. Let's establish right now our our generational kapuna and our kanaka moali and those that know and understand have been growing water and working in the Ahupua'a systems to actually be directing the flow of our water and sitting in it in council and sitting in the circles or as a board of directors for our charter amendment water authorities as water authorities because we need, as the people, to be enforcing what's happening on Maui so that as these reinforcements come who are already here for us, they can reinforce us. But we need to enforce first and foremost, and that's what sovereignty is. And stop with the bickering around how many groups and how many this and who's that and what it is. And this is why Aloha can bring us all together because that's just simply this legislation. What are the laws right now? What are the new laws? Law, land, air, water. It's all of this is in our writing, it's in the context, it's in the documents, it's in the scripture. All of this writing is why I write, why we write, create, recreate, co create new legislation that honors and values water, air, and the land. Freedom. Free our land, air, and water. Please, we do not own these things. This is how we move towards and the actions that we can take to come into right relations and peaceful relations with this planet. Yes, is the answer to your question. I'm on a thing. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So we have the legislation. We have the uh, power move by the people that we were able to come together and unify on around this charter amendment. So now let's use that swing leg. Yeah, let's take a swing. Yeah, let's create a massive wave right now. Yeah, Maui third wave, where we get to bring forth all of these systems for regenerating, for regenerating Maui. Already have it. What we need is we need support reinforcements as we enforce ourselves here as a people. Those reinforcements can come by all different means of abundance and prosperity. Maui is one of the most abundant and prosperous places on the planet. Yet, why are we sitting here right now, residents, locals, Mauians, who are looking at houselessness after owning $1 million homes on Front Street. Like, we can't make it up. It's blunt and straightforward right now as to what's happening. So we must come together, yeah. Like, and this is our counter. And water is the most connecting thing. We can connect on the water, and we can do this peacefully. Okay, non-violence. Right. This is not a violent gesture by any means. Right. It's literally elemental. It's the earth. It's the water. It's the fire. It's the air, and it's the spirit. Right. Connection, unity. Oh, shout out right now to Unity Earth. Take a look. They've been doing 99 days of peace. Um, so many collaborative organizations in that field. And International Day of Peace, they got a lot of beautiful things they've been sharing today. You can go to that. Unity.earth is your entry zone or portal. And yeah, navigate, find what sinks in, what resonates with you. Um, but, you know, being here on Maui, I've been very focused, as you can imagine, in our coordination efforts here. And so I'll start reaching out now that I have a little bit of time to do this to our collaborators, our allies. So it's a Jedi Alliance. If you'll talk to Sister Auntie Judy, who's like, literally like, right, the Empire and the Republic. I mean, the story's already been written in a lot of ways, right? But we're rewriting it. Ah, what you know about that, right? Star piece. Boom, right? I'm gonna rewrite this with like inclusive artificial intelligence right here. I'm gonna end it pretty soon here because we're coming up on that hour. But inclusive AI is what I have written in this haiku right here. And AI, coming back to how I like to play recreate words with acronyms, was AI, art of the indigenous, indigenizing technology, y'all, right? Like inclusive AI, not exclusive, right? If we build AI that's radically inclusive with consent and civic responsibility that leaves no trace or leaves it better than we found it, it is radically self-expressive, that allows for all people to participate, that builds levels of radical self-reliance, that helps with like understanding how to become a regenerative, valuable, like I'm going to perpetuate everything in life forward and pay it forward and give it back so that I am the gift and present by being present and teaching everything that I have come to know and learn everything that I possibly can as a student and life on this planet, on in this community, which is Earth, right? Hope for Maui, Earth. Earth and heart have the same letters in them. Make an acronym for both of those. Invitation, sovereign will, can or cannot, up to you. I've done it. I don't have my glossary right now, so it's not uh, computing super quickly. Maybe make another one that can be part of our homework um, in this now moment, right? Immediacy, uh, communal effort. I love like bring that in. Let's do that. Let's do Earth because Earth and heart, since they're the same, will actually take care of two acronyms or two words recreated to basically be the same. Oh, is see this is how John likes to play games with me. I had a pencil. Now all of a sudden I don't have my pencil available. but I have a pin. So we got to be right on the first time. I can't. There's no erasing possible. All right, here we go. Here you go. All right, Earth. Ooh, I got to go with environmental on this because it's mental, right? The environment is actually it's a mental, cognitive um, association. Yeah, and it's 5 syllables. Right. You know I'm gonna write this in haiku. If any of you know me, expect nothing less. Um, A, environmental. Ooh. A for me, like because I'm a man of action, activation just wants to come up right now, and then art wants to come up too. Environmental art. Ooh, because it's Earth. Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, that's one right there. Environmental art. All right, art. What's the R? Um, as a bridge, I tend to like to use some type of ing word in the acronym making to like have that perpetuating nature of movement. Um, so environmental art comes up as like reminding or uh, no, I don't like reminding right there. Environmental art. Relating is always great. All right, we're gonna get this. We've got like 8 minutes to make this like hour-long show, so it's fun because it's actually how I'm seeing as we go in these podcasts, like flow and relating with others. Is let's make a acronym together. I'll make this part of the protocol. Environmental art. I like relating right there. Art relating. No, maybe. See, this is where the pencil comes in. All right, we're gonna go with see, relations and peaceful building is really a focus on today's uh, live stream. So I'm gonna go with relating, and it's non. Yeah, perfect. We're gonna go with that. I feel like relationships, environmental art. Yeah, that's what relationships. Well, because it's Earth, right? So just let's take off the S on that one. Environmental art relationship, something, and then we're on the T right now, right? So let's go environmental art relationships, relationship. Oh, oh, that's so beautiful right there. Teaching, because this is Earth School right here that we're doing. All right, environmental art relationship, teaching, and You know what's easy on this one, yeah, because we're the ones here going to school. Everybody else that's here with us, all the plants and animals, they already got it figured out. They just come here and do what they do. But we have the divine grace and I'm not gonna, and challenge, but an opportunity is humanity. You know, environmental art relationship, teaching humanity. Earth. That was fun. We'll come up with I need one more syllable on the haiku, but that's on me, not on you. Uh, so let's come around full circle into today's International Day of Peace. Hope for Maui. That's hope, the number four, Maui.org. Yeah, you can see it on the bottom of your screen to donate, to come on board and be part of this incredible, amazing opportunity, um, amazing challenges ahead of us, and uh, we're going to do it together, and we're going to do it um, in a sovereign way, with self governance, um, you know, first and foremost, yeah, because that's where it's got to start. That's where peace has to start. It's like here, uh, that inner peace, yeah. So that self governance, our self control, um, and in that space, you know, comes that ability to say again the peace and rebuilding. Yeah, as I know we can build peace in our relations. So I like to think sometimes about a little bit of order to the chaos even in my own system. It's a good place to be. Is self-reflection. So I start always in this wheel, internal wheel of co-creating with myself. Is that governance and sovereignty. Then comes the relations and peace building, and then comes the justice and protection. Right? That's the water protectors right there for y'all. So, given today is a focus on water, focus on um, what our hope for Maui looks like. This is a reminder for all of you out there, all of you water protectors out there. What I'm seeing right now as a visionary is we're going to need all of us right now. We're going to need to unite, and we may need Maui version of. I'm seeing Maui version of Standing Rock. We had our Mauna Kea event, and it was a win, and gave us a template and some foundations and backbone, which always there. We're humans that got a backbone. We all got that. So we stand in that water protectors because this is another version of that here on Maui. Is kind of how I feel about it. What I'm sensing, what I'm observing, what I'm witnessing, what I'm experiencing is that this, uh, you know, possibility of attempted land grab, as a possibility of attempted, um, you know, uh, genocide, this crime on humanity that's taking place. You know, uh, I can't not look at that. I can't not look at that possibility with wide eyes and um, you know open heart and compassion for because regardless of what has taken place, is we need to respond. We need to bring some water uh, to the fire. And we're going to have to hold this with justice and protection. We're going to have to hold and stand up for this land right now. We're going to have to keep the sacredness of this land sacred. It's not a secret out there in the world. So I'm calling in all of our water protectors right now. Mahalo. Mahalo to you. Mahalo Kekua. Mahalo to all those watching. Have a wonderful International Day of Peace. Love and bananas.